Today, we are diving into a collection of absolutely chilling first-hand accounts, and they all share one very specific common element: a silent, snowy night. You know, there's just something about snow, right? It brings this kind of peace, a quiet beauty that just seems to blanket the entire world. But as we're about to find out in these true stories, that profound silence, well, it can also hide something truly terrifying. So we're going to explore 3 separate stories. Each one is like this disturbing tear in the fabric of what really should have been just a peaceful winter night. Our first story kicks off with a totally impulsive decision. A man sees this unexpected heavy snowfall coming down and decides, you know what? I'm gonna go for a walk on this secluded hiking trail to really soak it all in. So picture this. He's deep in the woods now, feeling pretty good about how far he's walked, and he's completely, utterly alone in the quiet. He stops, just takes it all in, and that is the exact moment the perfect silence is broken. At first, it's just this faint high. He kind of shakes his head, tells himself his mind is just playing tricks on him, but then he hears it again. This time, it's clearly the sound of a little boy yelling. He whips his head around, searching, but there's no one there. And with those 3 simple words, he just instinctively looks up. And what he sees is, well, it's a strange relief at first, but it's also the beginning of a truly bizarre and frightening ordeal. The whole scene just made no sense. There's a little boy perched on a branch a good 20 feet up in the air. The tree itself is perfectly straight, no lower branches to climb. And the real kicker? The fresh snow underneath was a perfect, undisturbed blanket, not a single footprint anywhere. So the narrator asks him how in the world he got up there. And the boy, he just stands up on the branch, says, "Watch this," and then leans back. He plummets 20 feet, landing flat on his back with this gruesome, sickening thud. I mean, a fall like that should have killed him. It should have broken his back, but he just springs right up, cackling, and takes off running. And in this moment of just pure shock, the narrator does the one thing you should probably never do. He chases after him, following his footprints into the darkness. So the chase ends when the boy ambushes him, clawing at his neck, actually drawing blood. The man gets away, but here, this is where the story becomes truly chilling. He's bleeding from deep cuts, he's just been attacked, yet when the police investigate, they find only one set of footprints in the snow: his. And that paradox, that complete mismatch between physical proof and memory, it pops up again in our next story. This one takes place during a massive snowstorm that made all the roads completely impassable. The Wi-Fi is out, he's going stir crazy, and he decides it would be funny to just show up at his friend's door. So he's about halfway there, walking on this totally deserted stretch of road, surrounded by woods on both sides, when he sees headlights coming his way. He watches as this plow moves pretty slowly, and then, all of a sudden, it just swerves hard, cuts right across the road, and disappears into the tree line with this kind of muffled crunch. His first thought is that the driver must be hurt, and he immediately starts running to help. So he gets to the crash site and signs this really bizarre scene. The engine is still humming, the lights are on, but as he looks inside the cab, he discovers something far more unsettling. The cab is completely empty. He checks everywhere, no driver. And just like with the boy in the tree, the fresh snow tells an impossible story. There are 0 footprints leading away from the wreck. None. As he's trying to process this, he gets this overwhelming gut feeling to just leave, immediately. He starts backing away, and suddenly a man's voice yells, "Help!" from right behind him. It's impossibly close, but every instinct is screaming at him not to turn around. So he just runs. He makes it to his friend's house, and they call the police. But when the officers finally get there, they report something horrifying. There were no tire tracks on the road, no sign of a crash, no evidence that a snowplow had ever been there at all. They pretty much accuse him of making the whole thing up. Okay, our final account comes from a high school runner. He's on the very last train operating during a sudden, severe blizzard, and his commute home is about to turn into an absolute nightmare. His parents can't get to the station to pick him up, so he has no choice but to walk. After crossing this deserted highway, he decides to take a shortcut through a wooded area. He's pushing through the deep snow, head down, and when he glances up, he realizes he's not alone. About 30 yards away, there's a man, and he's dressed for a summer day, short-sleeve shirt and shorts, in the middle of a blizzard. He's just standing there, facing him, with this terrifyingly wide, deranged smile on his face. And then, in one abrupt motion, the smiling man starts screaming and charges directly at him. He sprints home, absolutely terrified, and tells his parents. Hours pass. Then, a noise at his window makes him pull back the curtain. And it's him, the same man, now just inches from the glass. His skin is purple from the cold, and he's still just staring. His father actually sees him just before he runs off. They immediately call the police. The man's footprints are perfectly preserved in the fresh snow, leading away from the house and straight back into the woods. But the officers, they refuse to follow the tracks into the forest at night, and they never follow up on the case. And this brings us to the chilling theme that really connects all three of these terrifying accounts. It's not just about what happened, but about what was left behind. Or maybe more accurately, what wasn't. I mean, think about it. In each of these cases, you have this horrifying, visceral event that is immediately contradicted by a complete lack of concrete physical proof. A boy who leaves no trace, a snowplow that was apparently never there, and a pursuer whose clear trail is just officially ignored. The snow, which should be the perfect witness, instead becomes this canvas of doubt and confusion. It's a really haunting question, isn't it? These experiences leave witnesses not only terrified, but also completely isolated, forced to question their own sanity. And it leaves the rest of us to wonder about the strange and unexplainable things that can happen when the entire world goes silent under a blanket of snow.